And we're back. And as you can tell, I'm happy about this one. Welcome to the Critics Clinic for all things movie and entertainment related. For your prescriptions, I will give them to you. Before we do anything else, subscribe, press that button below, comment, like, do all those things that people do on social media and YouTube. I'm here to talk to you about the Disney Pixar film, Elio. It is finally out after much ado. As you know, this movie has been talked about for years. It was a holdover post-pandemic. Pixar held off on releasing it because of some bad movies, and they wanted to make their money back. There were some talks about it potentially being on a streaming service, and I'm very glad it came to the big screen. If you don't want any spoilers, just fast forward to the part time I put on the screen. I'm going to give a quick little overview. The plot was not overly complicated, but it was very meaningful. This animated film centers around a young man named Elio Solis, who has, unfortunately, like most Pixar films, it starts off very sad. He's lost both of his parents. You don't know why. They just open up with him being with his aunt, Olga, who's voiced by Zoe Saldana, who's taking care of her. She's in the military, and so she's basically raising him on a base and doesn't really know what to do. And he hears her over saying, "This is not what I expected from my life," because he's a bit of an unruly kid and feels like he doesn't fit in anywhere and has no one to turn to anymore now that his parents are dead. A series of events happen to where he ends up at the military camp, and these kids taunt him and try and make fun of him. And the whole time, he hears this thing at this museum that we sent off this satellite to connect and communicate with any life form out there in space. And so he gets this idea. He's in this little intercom room where his aunt works, and they hear a radio signal. And the aunt's like, "Aliens don't exist. This can't be real." And they all leave. And he sends out a signal saying, "Hey, come abduct me. I love you. Bye." And it sends off, and they catch it, and they find him, and they abduct him. And it ends up being this communicore type deal. That's a Disney word. That's not actually what they called it. But the space station of all the greatest minds of the universe have come together. And it's him and one other candidate. And the other candidate is like this death warlord who gets turned down and is very upset about it. And so they're trying to flee this communication universe conglomerate. And so they decide, hey, if you can save us, you can be part of our team. And so he goes onto this ship, tries to save them, runs into this warlord's son, whose name is Glordon. They become best friends, and there's a whole mission of him trying to stop Glordon's dad from destroying the communication center. They find their way on Earth, and then they get back to the ship, and in the end, the warlord, his name is Lord Ogregon, he ends up basically surrendering because his son, the love for his son is more important than him conquering the planet, which I thought was a beautiful story. There are a lot of messages in this movie. I'll get to that in the plot. I'm going to start, for now, with the cast and crew. This one's different. It's an animated film. The young man that plays Elio is a much lesser known character. I apologize. I don't know his name right now. I'll put it up on the screen. He did a great job. I think he had a lot of emotion in his voice. It was great. Obviously, it's easy to say Zoe Saldana was the standout, but she was the standout in her part of being the aunt. She's obviously gotten every award there is. But she did a great job voice acting, which I feel like I don't see a lot from her. She did a great job. I feel like Brad Garrett did a good job playing the warlord leader. His voice always comes through. It's very specific. You'll know it when you hear it. I would say and then actually Glordon, I'm not really familiar with the person who played his character either, voiced his character, but his voice was hilarious. Like, he was acting as if he was like this like little elementary kid and didn't know much about anything, and he would just say whatever came to his mind, like kids do. And it was actually very funny. So I'd say, again, it's an animated film, so cast and crew, I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2. Now for the plot, again, it was so simplistic, but it was just so meaningful when you take the time to really think about it. Just this idea of belonging and otherness and not fitting in, especially in a time like this that we're going through in the current actual world. It's a really meaningful film. Elio feels like he doesn't belong anywhere. Being himself, finds that he was the most important person for the job and very much belongs. And the place he was trying to leave all along is the place where he actually did belong. So it was a beautiful message from that standpoint. Otherness, togetherness, finding your friends. There's one, not to ruin the film, there's one really beautiful moment where Zoe Saldana's character and Elio are in space for an unknown reason. You gotta watch the movie. And they're trying to avoid all this debris, and they're pretty much in complete peril because they can't see the debris coming at them, and they need someone to help triangulate the coordinates or whatever. And so they think it's all over. They look at each other like they're all about to go. It was very sad, actually. And then all of a sudden, they just hear a voice chime in, and it's like someone from, I think, Senegal or somewhere. And then there's somewhere from France, somewhere from India. And you have all these people coming on and saying, "Hey, here from India. Hey, here from Paris. Hey, here from Senegal." And they're just kind of helping. And it was a very beautiful moment because it kind of showed everybody around the world coming together to help save them and to avoid this debris and get them to safety. Again, another very timely message and all the things going on in the world where everybody came together for one just purpose of helping these people, not knowing who they were. They actually had no idea who they were, but they were willing to help them. I thought it was beautiful. Again, it was an animated film, but there was a lot in here for adults to take into. And funny story, it's obviously there's the main dialogue and then there's like the back dialogue of just the little comments that are being said off screen. I have to see the movie again just for that because they were actually hilarious. So the funniest things, if you're listening really closely, you'll hear little characters say things in the background and stuff. It was actually hilarious. It's hilarious. So I would say overall, the plot was easy too. It was simple, but it was meaningful. It was a very, very, very good done plot. I would say from a Pixar standpoint, dare I say one of my favorites? There's so many good Pixar movies. I would say a 2 out of 2 easy for the plot. I would say production-wise, it was a beautiful movie. It's Pixar. That's always a given. It was effortless. It was beautiful colors. Children will love the way it looks. All the aliens were done well. I think they hit the mark very well. And it's funny. I feel like a lot of these aliens were just digested or like recycled from Strange World. But they were done right. So in a way that Strange World looked odd and off, and it was actually difficult to watch. This movie, they were beautiful, seamless, easy on the eye. It's an easy 2 out of 2. I would say for music, it was good. It was actually very much like Guardians of the Galaxy type vibes in terms of the music they were using, and it fit the mold very well. That old timey like aliens are among us type thing. I would say from that standpoint, almost like an Iron Giant type musical score, which I love. That's like my favorite animated film. Not Disney, I know, but I love it. So I'd say from that standpoint, 2 out of 2. We're at an 8. We're getting to the finish line. Will it get a perfect score? I don't know. I would say overall, how did I enjoy the movie? I loved this movie. Loved this movie. It's one of my favorite Pixar movies now. I'm definitely going to see it again. I loved the story. It was very simple. We waited a very long time for this film, but I think it was worth it. The character of Elio, I think, is going to speak to a lot of people. And this idea of feeling like you don't belong, feeling like an other, feeling like there's nowhere for you. But then in being yourself, realizing, again, you're exactly who you're supposed to be. And so I really loved that message. It was just a cute movie. There were definitely sad parts. But again, it's a Pixar movie, so that's to be expected. The only thing I would say, if I were basing it strictly on that, I would give it a 2 out of 2, and I'd give a prescription a 10. But it's not a 10. It's not a perfect movie. This is not Sinners. This is not Wicked. So we're not going to be crazy. I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 2, and I'm going to give Prescription a 9.5 out of 10. So still one of my highest scoring movies. It was an excellent movie, but not a 10. There were some little notes that I would have. It's when this movie first was like touted as being the next Pixar movie, the eye patch thing. I'm not going to give it away, but it wasn't like a disability, which I know a lot of people had wanted it to be something that a lot of kids could look up to and be like, oh, he's like me. I get picked on this for school, and now I have someone to look up to. And it wasn't that. I do believe Pixar reshot things over the years and changed the storyline. Because I know it's a little different. The actual movie was different than what the original trailers were a couple of years ago. Even with the eye patch, it was different. I wish they had not changed that. I feel like it was more meaningful. I feel like it would have reached a lot more children who were looking for that character, for that hero to look up to have something that made them different, and to see that as a strength. So I do wish Pixar kept that on. It's a little thing, but I don't know why they changed it. But that's fine. Still a great movie. Still go see it. Still, this is one of the best Pixar movies I think that there are, and that is saying a lot. There's a lot of really great Pixar movies, but it's just the story is great. I don't have enough good things to say about it. Prescription 9.5 out of 10. Go see this movie. Especially if there's a ton of young adult and a ton of family movies out right now. You got Lilo and Stitch is still ruling the charts. You got How to Train Your Dragon. You got this. I would say if you're looking for a movie to go see for the family, for young adults, for Disney adults, go see this. Again, you saw my review for How to Train Your Dragon. It really wasn't that good. You can skip that one. But go see this. Elio really was worth the wait. It's a very cute movie. Very well done. Very simple story, but it just makes you feel good about what you're doing in life. That's all I got. Tell me what you think below. Thanks for watching.